This is a good song. I saw these guys in concert back in. That must have been like 89, 90? It was Cal Expo. I saw a lot of shows. No, it wasn't at Cal Expo. It used. No, it was at Cal Expo. Cal Expo and the Arco. Arco changed its name 6, 7 times since then. Hi! How are ya? Welcome to my tube. I've been up for a couple hours, but I'm still kind of waking up. Mom's still sleeping over there. She's used to me being boisterous in the morning. We've been roommates for a long, long time. She just tunes me out. My name is Margie. I'm a Heyoka empath. And I just like having these talks because I like to talk. I'm a chatty Cathy of sorts, and I had a life experience, and I went down a memory lane yesterday. I've done so many cool things, and I just don't even recognize them as being cool. And I got to participate in a excursion some years back for my 40th birthday. And it started in Las Vegas. That's why I have my location for this video set as Las Vegas. I'm not in Las Vegas. I'm in northern New Mexico. But I've been around so much. I have so many great stories that my new thing I'm doing is I'm gonna tag a different location to see if I can connect to a different algorithm. Plug into different groups of people based on location. I have an IT background, so I'm always trying to adjust my settings. You can tell that a significant convergence is happening because they always do that when every time you turn on your TV or open your phone and use an app that you commonly use, is asking you to update your end user agreement. I spent a number of years in IT after I got out of the military as a mechanic, and I learned to read those. I kind of skim through them. They're very redundant. They say the same thing. But the funny part is, it's like lawyers could put in there, "Sell your cell to the devil," as the last line, and people would never and they would just go click, 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 click. It could say that, like all your money's gonna go to us if we ever, like they could put contingent, because that's what the legal system is silly made up reindeer games by people without practical skills. And so I had this opportunity to go on a trip for my 40th birthday to go, and it started out, this trip was really cool, and it was only 4 days long. It cost me my brother and my dad, though, because I don't have a relationship with them anymore, but we had this trip. So it's cool, because I got 2,121 pictures of this really cool trip I got to take. And I've never been a fan of Sin City, Las Vegas. It's not my thing. I'm a rule follower, I drink too much and I do terrible things, so therefore going to places where people drink too much and terrible things is not a place where I shall be. And it started out, I met them. He came from Sacramento. My dad came from Atascadero. We all met in Las Vegas. And I've known people that have gone there a number of years, like every 6 months. I was in recovery. I lived in Omaha. I was surrounded by very important people that needed to rest and recuperate from doing next to nothing all the time. So they would every 6 months go to Vegas. And so I was always curious, like, what is the thing about Las Vegas, Now I love lights. I'm autistic. I'm a spectrometer is what I call myself. I'm a full spectrum being. You know, I like lights. I don't like explosions. I don't like things that cause destructions. I like things that cause awe and woo. You know, and I don't like things that dupe people and pranks and stuff like that. So we're only there one night, and then you catch a little plane, and you get take shuttles, buses, and then you catch a little plane, and then you fly out to Utah to a dude ranch called the Barton Ranch. Okay, and then you stay the night there. There were monsoons, so the second plane had trouble. It tried 3 times, and on the third attempt, it made it to the little airport at the dude ranch. And then, but if it did, they almost had to turn back and miss the whole fun of the night of the, the dinner with the show. And then the next morning, you get up and wake up, have some coffee, eat a good breakfast, because they feed you real good at there, the Barton Ranch, with the, the meat raised there on the land, and best freaking meat, oh my god, it was butter in your mouth, that it was so good. And you could sleep in like there's all kinds of stuff you could do. I went on an excursion in an ATV so I could take pictures. My dad went skeet shooting. My brother probably took a nap. But you could sleep in a covered wagon. It was just so cool. You could go ride horses. I'd like to go back there one day, maybe. And this sky was just like, I hadn't been to Utah like that before. And so it was a very pleasant introduction, I must say. And then the next morning, you wake up. There, that's better. Whew. Make sure the Bluetooth is off. All right. And then you get to take a helicopter ride down into the Grand Canyon, where you meet the 2 rafts and the operators of the rafts. You get to proceed to raft down the Colorado River in the Grand Canyon for 3 nights and 4 days. That's the perfect trip for me. 3 nights and 4 days, and I'm ready to go home and do nothing, or back to my regular scheduled program. Too much is like too much longer than for me. Whatever, teach his own. And so I was going through all these pictures last night, and the thing of it is every day the world changes. They're trying to create a world, like put pictures in people's mind and program them to create a world. And I'm here to tell you to create your own world and make your own settings. Go through, if you like I went through last night, I was going through all these end user agreements, and like Roku, because they implemented AI. They started when I was in the military. And they did the whole Patriot Act, which basically gave our government permission to listen to eavesdrop on us. And then it's just, people that control things, they can't control themselves. That's why they control other things, is because they have no control in themselves, and it's like a power, it's like a hunger. They can't stop. They have to control this and they have to control that. It can't stop. And so when I noticed this, and then my brother's a lawyer, and we've had all these conversations where like law is like the big nothing on the Never-Ending Story, or like on that movie Toys, where they overtake the room where they're testing the plastic fake vomit and poop. It's like the room in Star Wars that closes in on you. That's law. We're supposed to rule ourselves. We're supposed to be decent enough that when we go out, we know we're going to go out and it will be okay, because I am not going to cause harm to them and they will not cause harm to me. And there's no guarantee of that variety on the earthly plane in 2025. I don't know. I don't go by their calendar. Calendars are another tool of control. I guess there's shootings everywhere. Shootings here, shootings there. don't like guns. I went to war. I was on Crete when we bombed Iraq. I know it's nonsensical. It's an inferior man's game, like Risk or Monopoly. And I have the pictures to prove it. I was there. We never have any reason to be over there. You know where we need to be? Not just National Guard. The only national, there shouldn't be a National Guard. All the militaries, Air Force, Marines, all of them, they should just be protecting this land. Just this land. Just the United States, Alaska. That's nothing out there is for us. The only reason why we have bases all over the world is because the bros that are the military, call it the fraternal brotherhood of butt stuff, that they like to go on vacation. They don't like to take their wives. So what they do is they say, well, gotta go off and go do this exercise and this engage. It's TDY. They're like pay, they play they play, and then they pay themselves, and then they give themselves tax free for playing so much, and then they come back here and have parades for it and want me to go along with it, and I just won't. I absolutely will not. But this is what this country is about. Like this was 2014, and I have these pictures. I'm gonna put some of them. I'm gonna make some of them my thumbnails, because on my thumbnails I take all the pictures. And there's thousands of people. There's people walking everywhere. Anyway, so the surveillance age is in complete full swing. If you notice, I figured this out yesterday. I'm a human-computer interface genius. And I'm hyper-vigilant, and I got all these woo-woo abilities and stuff that nobody cares about. Whatever. But now, when you type in, like, your Google email address, you type in blah, blah, blah at gmail.com, what it resolves to, it turns into something. Okay? So you type in blah, blah, blah at gmail.com, and it turns into something else. That means Gmail, Google gods, do the switch. And that switch puts in a little script. It's just a little line. It's just a little dash right next to the com. Right? I got pictures of it here, because I figured this out yesterday, day before. Because people talk, okay, this is going to happen, and then I see evidence of what people believe is good. That's how we create reality. So, when you type in Gmail right now, it resolves like that, okay? You get it. You type in at gmail.com, but then it puts this little hyphen in there before the com, okay? Right? Then, but when you click on it, it resolves back to the gmail.com. What I did is I just did a little search, and I said, why does Gmail resolve to with the where's that's that extra little character from? And it says Google did roll out AI features and UI changes around the mid-2025. So that means that there's some watcher that is in everybody that has a Gmail. I don't care. See, I've been in IT. I went to college for IT back in 2003. I knew then, like, if you don't want somebody to know what's in here, don't put it out there at all. Just don't put it out there. I want people to know what's in here, so I don't let it build up and it combusts and explode and seeps out all over there, because that's what people do. They carry so much in here, and it erupts, and they can't take it, and then they gotta. When I was a little kid, like I said, I'm autistic, and I used to have tantrums and stuff, and mom would implore me, she would just instill in me, she just drive into me, and I'd get consequence after consequence to learn that I have to learn to control my emotions. I have to learn to control my emotions because I have so many of them. And if I don't learn to control my emotions, that likely I would end up in an institution where freaking lazy people got paid too much and, toyed with you and were sadistic and all that weird stuff because they feel bad about themselves. I'd end up in an institution. My dad worked at a Tascadero State Mental Hospital. Dude should have freaking been an inmate. I know what the sadistic are. The blood runs through me. That's why I try so hard not to be like them. My whole goal in life is don't be like them. Stay smiling. Don't be like them. It's like family's supposed to be everything. And then the people that say that then treat, like are weird. I don't know. Anyway, so I went through last night and went through like all these end user agreements and you can go through, I went through Roku and changed all my settings. Like, I'm not going to let anybody use me for their gain and like to suck resources on my behalf. Like, don't need to track me. My digital footprint is vast. Like, if you look at my resume, not only for my clearances from when I was in the Air Force and my position in the military, and like as far as what our mission touch, because we're the recce planes. We're the ones that, and what do we do? Military does whatever it wants under the guise of military exercises. They do real world bullshit under the guise of military exercises. They go on vacation under the guise of military exercises. And for years, I worked on the flight line and brought equipment to airplanes that would take off, and they would exercise, survey, like eavesdropping on the enemy. But what they were doing is they were listening to everybody in America's cell phone conversations. And then they would determine who the terrorist was. And if you piss somebody off, dude, I liked a girl. I dated a girl. I loved her. And but I'm not good at, what I feel like love is, but it's hard for me to determine what love is to other people, because other people say they love you and then they do weird stuff. So I don't know. It's all, I don't do relationships anymore. This was when I was younger and I was more into the program. I learned my lesson. And so that's all I did was like this girl. And because I like this girl, like, she had SPs in the military call me and yell me and threaten to me that have, like, get me kicked out because they found out that, like, I liked women. And I was just like, is this a show? Like, this is a joke. This is, like, what is this? I got called out by, like, a big important fucking mobster, dude who thinks he's a mobster, that she ended up marrying. Like, he liked her too, but, like, I can't stand, like, I just can't stand systems. I can't stand clubs. I can't stand people that are in clubs. Because there's always shadow in those clubs. Every group. Even when I was in recovery and Alcoholics Anonymous, it was just a club, and there was shadow in the club. And the alcohol is so funny because I like to think that I am in alignment with the beliefs and thinking of Carl Jung. And he started AA. He was a proponent person in starting AA. And so, I mean, like, I get how we are spiritual beings having a human experience. the thing of it is there's a lot of beings on this earth, and it puts a false sense of security in people's minds. Words like, oh, I don't know, people and human, because there's a lot of beings in this experience that aren't those. That they look like them and they can act like them. Hey, you know how they're saying like the colonists or the lizards, the blue bloods, which makes sense to me because I used to catch lizards when I was a little girl. They'd freak me out. I'd try to catch them. It'd scare me, you know. I get adrenaline, you know. All the trauma. So my body don't know the difference between a good surprise and a bad surprise anymore. It's kind of a nervous wreck now. But back in my day, they would have these lizards with different colored bellies on them. And like that's how you could tell what they were. Like the yellow belly was, you know, and then the blue belly and the red belly. I can't remember which one was which. Like one's poisonous, like, you know, like one you could like there were some you could if a predator hit its tail, the lizard the tail would fall off. And then it would grow back. Some of them parts would grow back. Some, you know, and then I started notice how there's beings that were just so much alike animals, you know, and then that's my centaur thinking. I got Chiron and Aries, so, you know, half animal, half person. All we are is animals. And if people ever spend any time watching how animals work, I just had a freaking hawk the other day. I feed birds. And then I went out one morning and there was a dead bird, like it was mauled in a cat's mouth. But it was like weird. It wasn't, but like a cat would have ate it. Like a cat wouldn't have left that there. It was like, it was a kill for pleasure. And then the next morning, I filled the bird seed, and then there was this bird that was just, and then, I let Luna out. We were walking down there, and I see a tussle in the tree, and I come in it, and I thought it was an owl at first, and then the bird flew off, and then I stayed outside, and a little while later, a hawk came and sat on the fence. It was a hawk. It wasn't an owl, and I was like, and I shoot it off. A little while later, and it was and the bird was so scared it was sitting there, and it knew the hawk was there, and it didn't want to move. So I'm like trying to shoo the hawk off so the little bird can leave, and I figured out that it was the hawk that, you know, and like hawks are birds of prey, you know. They but it's so weird to see same things killing same things in every animal species, whatever you call it. In every realm, there are things that want to end itself, the things that it hates in itself, externally out there. Even in animal kingdom, it's a trip. I see evidence all the time. When I project on people, my projections are on people because because they're lazy. Like, because of all this stuff I've had to do in my life. I didn't have any choice. Because I knew if I did not do this thing, that the next thing that I needed to happen was not going to happen. And it was on me. It was my responsibility to make that thing happen. I enlisted to go to college because I knew I was going to be a stay-at-home daughter one day to take care of mom. I just didn't know when that day was coming. And then I found out in 2017 that day was coming much quicker than I didn't know it was going to happen. And so, you know, that's when I had to figure out how to earn income and pay bills and buy things I want to do, like gas and food, you know, do stuff like that, you know, do stuff to soothe myself. And those are and I picked up hobbies to being acts of kindness and doing things for other people. And I'm up to a point. People don't pay me for this stuff. Hell, people don't even thank me for this shit. I give them stickers. I have these stickers made. Straight people like rainbows too. It's my whole ass movement I'm trying to do. But you know how I tell? Because I'm trying to make lives better for other people. Because me and Mom have everything we need. But I could tell all the people out there that are only out there for themselves because they don't see me. They don't connect to me. They're in that 3D tangible world that I don't live in. I don't need money. I don't have Earth in my chart. Money is a means to, okay, just do something for me. Because you're not cool enough to do it out of the goodness of your heart, because soulless people don't have hearts. So I like giving people, and I just recently made magnets. So I give people magnets. I like to, sometimes I'll walk around town when nobody else is around before people get out. And I'll go try and find metal surfaces to and leave my stickers. I'm looking for an embroiderer. If anybody knows an embroiderer, that'd be cool. One day I'd like to have my own embroidery machine, and then I'll just make my own t-shirts. That'd be cool. So, anyway, it's getting crazy. I just keep thinking about the flooding up in the Pacific Northwest, up in frickin' yeah. Anyway, what else? Oh, yeah, I like to go down and just leave little treats for people. And then I'll fight, because that's when the people that really need help, that's like when they're getting up and around too. I would like to I want to make a I want to make coffee for people. I want to provide people a cup of coffee that are having a hard day. Because sometimes a cup of coffee, you make it just right with just enough heart space, just enough love. Like it could put hope back into somebody's whole being, It could just give them just a little bit more to go a little bit farther, Just that little act of kindness. It goes so far. It goes such a long way. So I like doing stuff like that, but I gotta get this hinge fixed, or I ain't doing nothing. What is going on in the world today besides that? A lot of people are learning lessons. That's what I look at the earth as a big old radio, and then like we're a song within ourselves, and then we travel around touring with our song in different parts of the world, and either people are gonna like that song or they're gonna hate that song. Who that? Is that you? What are you doing? I did not even know you were out there, Honey Bear. I thought you were up there with Grandma, you silly goose. You need to go outside. Okay, I'm taking you. I'm taking you, the best girl in the world to me. Loving you so pretty. Okay, I'll be right there. Show me the way. I'll get off the phone. Okay, just grab a girl. She's such an old girl. It's a girl. She came from South Carolina. She was 40 minutes out from being put down, and we pulled her they pulled her. They said we need a foster. I said I'll do it. Then I failed to foster, and I kept her. She's the last one I got out of 4. So loving things has kept me here on life. Loving things and taking care of things sustains me. Unfortunately, it's exhausting because there's too many other beings out there that they're sustained by being loved, and they never reciprocate that, and that's the shift that's happening now. So go in, change your settings, go in, turn off the stuff, don't let them track you, use you, turn off locate, do all that stuff, like they don't need to make more, because they're just gonna make more battery centers, more data centers, and keep all the stuff that we ever do. And there's just going to be more. It don't matter because there's more fires and more floods, and all that is so that they can divert and navigate and create a contrived reality so they can sell products and make money and stuff like that. uh, the earth is cleansing now, and the earth don't care about their quarter profits and people's yachts and stuff like that, and the balance is coming back around right now. So safe travels. That's about all I got for now. Thanks for hanging out. I hope you have a rad day. Peace.